Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Survivor True Fans Unite, also known as STFU. Tonight, we'll be talking about episode number 10, which is titled My Enemies Are Plotting. And with me, I have all my enemies who can't be plotting because we're all talking together. Let's say hello to Shane first. How's it going, Shane?
What's up, everybody?
Yeah. Then there is Bob. Hey, Bob.
Hey guys.
I can see where the theme of this show is going already. Then we have Andre.
My enemies are plotting. My enemies are plotting. My enemies are plotting. Hello, everybody.
Oh no, we got enough of that during the show, man. Okay, all right, let's get into it. Let's talk about the headline for the night, and that was Star getting eliminated. It was between her and Mary. She chose not to play her shot in the dark, and it ended up being a Star getting voted out 5 votes to 3. So let's talk about this with Shane first. Shane, how did Star get voted out?
I just think Star didn't make any connections with anybody. And then she just seemed, for some reason, everyone thought she was shady and a schemer. But I just think she didn't even do anything. So no one really wanted her on the team, and she wasn't part of any alliance, no connections. So she was an easy vote, really.
Okay, Bob.
Same stuff, really. Like even Mitch had said, like if anybody came to me with a proposal to go against this main alliance, I have to trust them at least, and he didn't even trust the others on the very bottom. So she's also would have been an easy vote, but an also easy one to keep around. It's probably what they should have done. No chance at winning.
Very interesting. And yes, I agree with you guys. I don't think she made very deep connections with everyone or with anyone there, as far as what we've seen on TV. So, Andre, any last thoughts on that?
I think the deepest connection she had was with Uncle JP. Like, calling him Uncle JP, and you can tell. I don't know if Jeff was really feeling it, but he was like, "All right."
No, I don't think he was.
And then, yeah, I agree with everyone. Just there's no connections, and to Bob's point, like she was the best person to take to the finals because she didn't play the game. Even when they said, "Hey, you should use your thing because we're gonna vote you out," pretty much, she's like, "Nah, I'm gonna trust my game." It's like,
yeah, she wasn't even trying.
No,
she wasn't a threat to win any challenges. He wasn't trying in challenges.
Yeah, that's the funny thing that they even talked about that. They said like, "Oh, she's not gonna win anything, so we could keep her around," but it was just like she had no connections to anybody, not even small enough to be like, "Well, maybe we can work with her." It was just a straight, "Why is she even here?" I would like to see a season with her and Q on it. I think that'd be the best season ever.
On the same tribe.
Yeah, that's for a different podcast.
I do have a question though. It says she's in sales. What does she sell?
Rat merchandise.
No idea.
I
mean, I could see her, being very personable and friendly with customers. All right, and
yeah, I can see that too.
Yeah, maybe people liking her on like first impressions, like she's very energetic and upbeat. So I could see that.
I could also see her like people saying no and her just disregarding it and keep trying to make the sale. Which would kind of like make her a good salesperson too, because she's just persistent and be like, "What? You said no? I'm trusting my gut. I know you want it. I know you want it." So,
like this is basically Star. Well, for the people who are listening, you can't really see this, but this is Star on the show.
He disappeared.
Yeah. So it's
just gone. Yeah.
Just like gone. I don't know if Star's even there. Then it's like, hey, let's vote for someone.
It's funny because
it's like, what is she doing? What is she doing in between like tribal councils? It's like tribal councils there. She says everything she needs to, and she's like on the ball and she's funny and stuff. And then when she's at camp, she's nowhere to be seen.
She's still trying to solve her idol.
Yeah, a puzzle.
Well, she gave that away, right,
Yeah.
to Eva, and she's probably regretting that, right, about when she got voted out.
I don't think she's regretting it. I think she was gonna give it because I feel like she wasn't even playing. Like she was, but I guess she was. It just felt like Shane did. Like she just disappeared. Like she was just non-existent, just there. And you were like, oh yeah, she's still here. Okay, cool. And I honestly didn't think she was gonna get voted off because she wasn't a threat at all. So I'm surprised she did though.
What I was kind of like confused about is that even after she gave the idol to Eva, Eva still had Star on her radar. And at the first every first chance, she's like, "Yeah, let's go after Star, Star, Star." Like, does she not say, "Hey, maybe she's wants to be friends or wants to work together"? It was just like Star's still on her radar to vote out.
Yeah, it's been proven in the past that even though you do a good deed in Survivor, it doesn't matter. You can still get voted out. Like people who have won the reward challenge and taken people with them that they think they could trust or go farther with. Sometimes those people just voted them out anyway,
Or find their teeth.
or go find their teeth, and then yeah.
At least Eva did come and tell her like, hey, I don't really want to vote for you. I'll let you know if I'm voting for you. And like was kind of telling her that. I don't know if she ended up telling her that she was gonna vote for her. Oh, sorry, that was Mary. Never mind.
That's Mary, yeah.
No, but one thing I was also gonna say is that like, and this could be completely, I'm maybe way off for saying this, but maybe her condition makes her just hyper focus on like, oh, this is who I wanted of originally. Maybe this is who I still want subconsciously, and just so she doesn't make that connection with them on Eva. Maybe, but I
Yeah,
could be off for saying that.
no, I can see that.
A couple of guys brought up some good points that maybe she should have been kept if she's not going to win. Um, what do you guys think of? Did the others make the right vote tonight in getting her out instead of Mary? What do you guys think?
I think that they should have went Mary because at this point it's all about winning those challenges or immunities, and Mary has definitely has a better chance than Star. Not saying she has a really good chance, but she at least has a better chance than Star.
It was tough because they had to pivot off of Joe, but I think now is the time. I'm just getting to the numbers where I'm starting to think about who I want to keep in
You talk about
with to go to the finals with me. Then
they had to like the outsiders had to
they would have had
like
to band together, which was failing with Mitch, but I think that would have been a much better play. I really like the way Kyle and Camilla are playing the game. They're helping each other. So Kyle he was actually thinking about the jury, like Shane was talking about last week. He didn't want to have blood on his hands, but he was willing to help Camilla get her troops together to help vote out Joe, which would have given her something on her resume and remove a threat from Kyle without blood on his hands. So it would have been a good plan, I thought, but
yeah.
Mitch
I liked how
Mitch
Kyle
didn't
played
want to
that.
Mitch didn't want to get in on that.
Yeah, I definitely like how Kyle played that. Is like, I'm in a good spot right now. I don't want to risk that, but I'm going to help you out. I'll I'll line them up and as much as I can so that you can knock them down. And in his confessional, he says, if it works, it works. Good for her. But if it doesn't, well, then that's on her. That's what he says, right? So
Yeah, I like
that's
how.
pretty good.
Oh, sorry, Jay.
No, I'm done.
I like how Camilla's like, well, like, sorry, Kyle was scared to even like suggest that move at first, and Camilla's like, "Don't worry, you have nothing to do with it. It's all me. You have nothing." You know what I mean? She's like reassuring him, like, "Don't worry, this is not coming back on you. I got it." Type thing. I like that teamwork, right? She wasn't like pressuring him, and so she just said, like, "Don't worry, I got you. Like, I'll do it." So I like that.
Andre, what's your thoughts on the vote going like not to Mary?
I
or
think
to
that was a
anyone
bad.
else, or to anyone else really. Like,
Yeah, I think that was a bad decision. They should have kept Star. Um, you got to take out the stronger players, obviously, and Star is not a strong player at all. She is a weak player. Even in challenges, she's weak. Um, Even when I'm trying to cheer for her, I'm like, "Oh, she's got it," and I'm like, "No, she doesn't have this at all." There was
She tipped over a single block, I think, at one point.
yeah, there was,
Yeah.
I forget which challenge it was that I was like, "Oh, wait, where's Star? Like the challenge just started. Did she even get a chance to do it?" And it was like, oh, I had to rewind to double check what happened. I'm like, how did you lose that fast? So, um, yeah, I don't think she was a strong competitor, so you should have kept her around. She didn't have a good game, so keep her around. Um, and she's an easy vote out. I feel like they should have gone for Mary, as I agree is who I should go. But I'm excited to see where Powell is in a hard situation now. Like, what is he going to do next? He doesn't want to get his hands dirty, but is that a point where he's going to have to do something? And Camilla, to me, looks like she's on the fence now. Like, she looks like one wrong move, she's going to turn against Kyle, maybe. Just because I feel like she looks like she's on the outskirts and she starts to see herself not included. And that little paranoia can, you know, they can just start small and get huge.
yeah. So let's talk about the group, and let's get to the STFU rankings first. Here's how we scored the remaining players. Eva number one at 4.6. Kyle second at 4.4. Joe and Shoheen both at 4.2. Camilla close at 3.4, but then at the bottom is Mitch at 2.8 and Mary at the very, very bottom at 1.6. Um, so we know the Strong Alliance wants to keep their six or five. Is it six or five now?
I'll
I'm not
say
even
four plus a couple alternates.
sure. Four, yeah, four plus. I guess
I think
Camilla and
2.
Mitch are their
Yeah.
5 and 6, right? And so they really only had Mary and Star to vote out, and they chose Star. So yeah, let's talk about that. I guess the top four definitely want to stay the top four to the end, but Kyle has this uh, trick up his sleeve in the form of Camilla. But what the heck is like? What's going on with Mitch? What's his plan? Does he think that he can go all the way to 5 and then still somehow win? What's people's ideas on what people are thinking in this remaining group here?
I think Mitch has the ability to join up with Shohin, I think, and Shahin and be able to kind of take out, like, I feel him, Camilla, and Shohin could team up and take one of those big out, because show one of the top four is going to realize that one of them's out, right? And if you think of that, it's going to be everyone's going to look at Joe and Eva as the strong duo who aren't going to turn on each other ever. So they're obviously going to try to break them up. So the people who are going to have to come after them is Kyle, who Kyle wants to go with Camilla. So who does Shohin want to go with? So I feel like the play for Mitch is to work with Shohin, in my opinion. Shohin, sorry. So yes, what do you guys think?
For Mitch, I think he talks like he wants to make a move, but he seems scared to actually do it. Because this, I thought, would have been the chance to do something. And he was just happy to survive another day, it seemed like. So.
This this is the way that they could have done something without getting someone to flip, like forcing
Yeah,
someone forcing the rocks. Now, if they want to do something, they have to get someone from the Strong Alliance to flip.
yeah. Now likely
Yeah.
Kyle or Shaheen's gonna have to make a public move.
I have a
Yeah.
question. So what does going to rocks mean? Like I've never seen that. I don't know what it entails. It's not happened in the times that I've been watching Survivor. What does that mean?
I'll take it. So basically, if there is a tie and on the revote, the votes don't change because on the revote, the
There's
the
still a tie.
remaining other players have to vote for those two. And if it's still tied, then those two that are tied are now immune. Everyone else has to go to rocks, which means put your hand in a bag of rocks. Whoever gets the purple rock is eliminated. So just random luck that
So
you could be eliminated.
so the people who got voted for get immune, so they'll be safe.
Yeah,
Yep.
it rarely
Whoa,
happens because you don't want that to happen so much that you probably will change your vote to pick
that
one
is
of those two
wild.
on the revote.
Has that ever happened before?
Yes. A couple times.
What season, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh gosh. Um, it was definitely one where
Not in the new era, I'm assuming, right?
no, it's old era. It's the one where Tyson wins. Jeez, I can't remember how far back that was. Yeah, it's pretty far back though, and people have learned since then that you know trying to just stay in the game based on luck is not worth it. It's better to better flip than to get eliminated by bad luck. So it's hardly ever gone to rocks since then.
So
But
for
people on the bottom, if they have nothing else to lose, they would be willing to go to rocks. Whereas people who are on top, they have something to lose
Will
because like
likely change
yeah,
their vote.
yeah, that's the hope there. Go ahead, Shane.
So I think that's why Mitch was scared to make that move because he knows that he's at least top six in his mind, right? He's in that group of six, so he's going to be top six. So this plan to go to rocks could potentially eliminate him. So he's like, well, what's like this is not a for sure plan. Like I don't know who's flipping. All I hear is we're willing to go to rock. So why would he put himself in that position? Also, like in other seasons and other reality shows, where you see this big alliance and like the bottom people are like, oh, I gotta do something because I'm on the bottom of the alliance. And I've always thought, okay, you're in a 5-person alliance. Who cares if you're number five? Because you'll at least hopefully just make number five and then go from there. But you see people try to make a move early and do something against the alliance or whatever, then they get voted out at number eight or like just sooner than five. So I'm always like, what are you doing? Stick with your alliance. So I think this is the mentality that Mitch has is like, hey, I'm six, at least six. And then if I win one, I could be five. But why make a move here? And then now I'm getting voted out, you know, eight, seven, like before, right? That's I don't know. That's my thoughts with Mitch.
Yeah, and plus he's not bad at challenges, so he has a chance to like if he might be thinking I just have to win a few immunities and I'm down. And then even if they put me in the fire making challenge, I could win that and I'd be in the final three. And I have enough relationships with people that I might be able to win this. So that's another reason why he doesn't really want to chance things too. But that would really really would rely on him winning maybe the rest of the challenges.
Yeah, well when like Mary's gone, and I think if Joe doesn't win, that's gonna get interesting. If I think now Shoheen and the Kyles and Camila's like, okay, are we doing this?
Totally agree.
Now, I want to bring up something that was brought up in another podcast, and what makes this alliance of four what really helps them out is that you could go down to the top four and not have to backstab anyone because nowadays since for a long time the top four go to a fire making challenge, and the winner of that immunity challenge gets to choose who goes into fire, but you're not backstabbing anyone. So this is what's really helping them out. Those four is that they could keep this promise of not backstabbing anyone all the way to the final four, and I think that's what they're counting on.
Tell
And
David that.
well,
Yeah, tell
Yeah,
Kyle that. Like, what is he gonna tell Camilla? Sorry, you're only top 5.
that's what Kyle's gonna have to
He's gonna have
figure
to
out.
decide what to do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I could go to the 4, and will I win if I'm in the top 3 against any of these other 3? That's what he's gonna have to decide. Or if he really wants to like put things in his favor and try to get out some of these people, and then bring some goats to the end, then he has to start making moves now. Actually, because he's running out of goats. That's what the thing is, right? If this one of the strong 4 want to make a move, they're running out of goats to bring to the end. Because if any of the strong 4 are still there, they still have a chance to win. So this final 4 format is really helping those 4 out, where they won't have to say that they backstabbed anyone except for David.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
for
was
sure.
he got paranoid. But that's where I feel like Camilla's starting to see that now. Like I think before she's like, yes, me and him are gonna be the top, like our number ones till the end. And now she's starting to realize, wait, like those 4 are closer than I expected, and I'm just kind of here trying to play my game with it. Like they just seem like they're just leaking information to each other, which is fine. But I don't know when push comes to shove if he's actually going to keep her around because he seems pretty close with Joe, um, and Eva actually. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, the outsiders really have to make a case to Kyle and Shoheen that they have to flip, or else they won't win against Joe or Eva. That's how I see it.
So of the top 4, let me ask you, who do you think Joe and Eva are the front runners to win?
Joe's my winner pick, and I would put if I was there, I would give my vote to Joe, with Eva a close second, but I'd give it to Joe.
Like thinking about his gameplay, like he's done really well in, and maybe you guys can enlighten me, but I feel like he's done well in challenges, obviously. Um, but he's not really like planning things. He's not really. People are coming to him. Like I kept telling Bob throughout the week, I was like, "Oh, I missed the podcast," but I'm just like every show I watch, I just feel like he's the Godfather, and people come and say, "Hey, what do you think we do this?" And he's like, "Oh, let me think about it." And then he's like, "Okay, he can go swim with the fishes. Take him out." Right? And it's just like he's
Well,
making
that's
decisions, but
that's the
he's not
thing.
really doing anything.
Well, he may not be coming up with the plans, but yeah, he is ultimately,
It
coming
feels like
steering
it
the
feels
ship
like
and helping with
Lord of
the
the Flies, where they just come up
yeah,
to the person and say, "Hey,
yeah.
leader, tell us what you want us to do."
And
So
that's why he would get my vote. He's won immunities. He's making those final decisions, even though he might not be, suggesting who to vote out. He's making those final decisions on who goes out.
yeah,
Um,
I
and
do
plus,
I
he
do
has
think
really
that's
good relationship. Like he's a stand-up guy. He has good connections with a lot of those people. It's hard to vote up. Like he's not an ass, so he has a lot of things going for him. That's why
I,
I would
I
give him my vote.
I do think that like him voting out um David really helped his case of like, okay, it's not just his show. Like maybe he is giving people that opportunity to like plead your case. Okay, this is what I think, but we'll go your way. So maybe by the way you explained it, I was like, okay, I could see those votes winning. Okay, counting towards him.
Yeah.
Question: does Mary vote for Joe to win?
No,
Does David?
probably not.
Well, Christy?
Maybe,
Not likely.
like, well, she said, I would give Joe and David my votes to win if they go to the end. So we need to get them out, right? So she might actually give them.
I think Cedric's gonna vote for Say. Just a random vote in there.
Uncle JP is gonna take out a thing and say, and there's a vote for say. What the heck is going on?
The stuff against Joe, though, I don't know what Joe was thinking with his conversation with Mary this episode.
Yeah, that was
Bro, like,
like he
yeah,
was trying
It
to do
was like
jury management, but it wasn't
you
very good.
were
Yeah.
You were a
You,
strong duo when you were controlling him.
yeah,
Well, she could say the same thing about him and Eva. Like,
yeah.
we had to target you because, or we had to get rid of David because you were working with him.
You're the reason why we voted for him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, why
you
don't you just
caused
vote for
that.
her then? Like,
Yeah,
what the heck? Just the way he is putting it, it's like, what are you doing right now?
yeah, and yeah, Eva handled that better when she was talking to Mary. At least she said it bluntly. She said, you're not one of the core four, but I like you. I won't play my idol on you or
That
any
was
of
the
my
best line.
advantages, but
So would you play my
I like
idol?
Yeah,
you. Yeah,
No.
no, I
I
will.
can't guarantee I'm not gonna vote for you.
Yeah,
Like, what are you saying right now? I don't
but
know. I don't.
at least that was better than how Joe handled it.
Yeah, I think that it was both bad. But yeah, if those guys are sitting there, I feel like Mary's just gonna vote for the third person just because of those conversations.
I still think Kyle's got a good argument. If he once he reveals all his work with Camilla, then hopefully he's got a little pull because he's a core part of that alliance since the beginning, and he's also been working side things like when they were split into separate tribes and stuff.
Yeah, they managed to get.
They have a good survival story
Was it
of
Thomas?
surviving a vote when they were outnumbered.
They got Thomas out.
Yeah,
That's they lay claim to that.
Yeah. So I gotta
And
ask though, why don't you have this would be for Shane and Bob? How come you guys have Eva as power ranking a 4 and not a 5? I'm just curious as to, but
but I
you,
think
yeah, yeah.
I think Kyle's playing better.
But she has all like the power, like all the what's it called?
advantages.
Yeah, all the advantages right now with all. So I'm just curious as to why you would give her a 4.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was the same way. I was kind of comparing her to Kyle and Shoheim, and I think Kyle is, like I said, like he's playing it in the way he's navigating it, where it's like he took a big risk, but then this time it's gonna be easier. Like I don't want to, like he's taking jury management and stuff, so I think he's playing a little bit more. Shoheen, I just think he's in a good spot because no one's like he's good with everyone, with his group, the people outside, like no one's really. I don't think anyone's looking his way really. So I had to compare Eva to them, and I don't know that whole speech to Mary. I'm like, okay, this is not good because if she does that with her, she could be doing that, down the line with Mitch or someone else, and it's gonna rub someone the wrong way where, she's now gonna be the target. So
I
that's
feel
why I
like
gave her 4.
yeah, if they're targeting this alliance, the strong alliance, they're probably first looking at Joe, but he'll probably win an immunity. So then their next target would be if things happen to the numbers. If somebody's Kyle and Shohin are likely to be the ones who actually flip against the alliance, and if they do, it's going to be targeting Joe or Eva, but Joe will likely be more protected.
But so will Eva, because she'll have immunities.
Having them doesn't mean you play them right. More often than not, they don't get played correctly.
And that's why they're running out of time because she's gonna
She
eventually
has,
play them.
yeah, she has to play that one. I think this round, doesn't she? The one that expires at
Yeah,
7.
next one. Yeah, I
Oh,
think
which
it's
one?
next one.
Which one expires? The power
The
safety without
power.
power.
Yeah,
Yeah.
safety without power. Yeah. So that'd be
So she
tough
can't get
if they
blindsided.
need that votes, right? And then she leaves,
Oh yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
that's a true
That's the
right?
point.
thing, right?
Yes.
If she would leave, and then her lines would be left with just 3.
Yeah. So if like Joe doesn't win, like, and he could be in trouble because he would need Eva's vote.
Yeah, those advantages are gonna that'd be interesting because then she could give him that power, safety with that power, but then to protect herself, she'd have to play her immunity. Could be something.
I thought it was interesting that Joe was a target, he wins, and they didn't pivot to Eva.
Eva, right? Blindside Eva.
Yeah, like there was like no talk. It's like, well, okay, it's either Mitch or Star or Mary.
Well,
Like,
I think it was because Mitch wasn't even really willing to do it because he didn't trust Mary and Star to actually follow through with it. and because he's probably just feeling comfortable with being in the sixth, like you said.
Yeah.
But
Right.
I think he wasn't fully committed, so I don't know if the plan for even Joe would have gone off, even if he didn't win.
Yeah. And
I
thinking
think
more
it would have
about.
been the right play for them.
Yeah, I'm thinking about Kyle and Shoheen here, and are they playing just to get to the end, or are they playing to win? Because if they get to the end with Eva and Joe, I wonder, do they really think they could beat them in the final tribal council?
I think Kyle does. Kyle's had more like play gameplay than Eva, I think.
Right, like what Bob said. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
he's accomplished a couple things, right?
exactly. Like I feel like he actually is a strong competitor against Joe to be like, yeah, I would vote for him, and I think people would vote for him to spite Joe, so he would get a couple extra votes there.
If I was on the outside looking in, I would be like, these four guys or this group of four is all playing the same game. Like what?
Yeah,
It,
exactly.
maybe Joe's like the nicer guy, but like I wouldn't say he's like a runaway to get it. But
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. If the three of the four went, they really would have to explain the nuances of the game, and how it was better than the other two.
Well, they would say like, we talked all three of us, and we all decided that we should do this, so we should all win $1 million, and they'd be like, "What? Okay, let's vote for Say."
I wonder. I wonder if Joe and Eva make it to the end. I wonder, like, how much Joe is going to say that his game was better than Eva's.
it
I
would
really wonder
just be
about that.
immunity wins,
I don't
right?
think you'd have to. I think it's pretty clear. I think Eva should even start to see this.
I don't know. She might think her game was better, especially with her disability. She might think she would have the advantage.
Yeah, she
That'd be
could.
interesting.
But I'm sure people are going to be like, well, you just hitched on to Joe. And that was it.
No, yeah, there's that too. All right, it's time to play. What would the STFU crew do?
Do we have music for this yet?
Oh man, yeah, we need a little musical intro to this segment,
We
right?
need like something that like that Star kind of does, and just some kind
No.
of cool intro. Let's do it.
Aren't you a DJ?
Yes. Okay, I'll create the intro. Next time, we'll have something ready to go.
Ooh, okay, interesting. Okay, but for this time, in relation to the episode, we saw Mitch telling his story about how he was a mailman and he encountered a pit bull and he started running away and he hit a tree and was still trying to crawl away after that, and then realized that the pit bull was chained. My question for everyone today is, what would we do if we turned around the corner and we encountered a pit bull that was not chained and it was looking at us, seeing how we were going to react before it reacted? So, what would we do? Since it was my question, it's only fair that I go first. I think I would be very nice and say, "Oh, hey, puppy! Look at this puppy! Nice puppy!" And so I would talk
Jay's
to it.
dead.
I would talk to it like that.
Jay's dead.
Yeah.
I would talk to it like that
Goner.
in hopes
No,
that
no,
someone
puppy. Don't hit my
in hopes
jugular.
that someone in that dog's life has talked to it before in such a nice
Like a
way.
baby.
Yes, and think that, oh, this person is like my former master who was very nice to me, and that's what my hope would be. And then if that did not work, um, I would slowly back away, very slowly back away, and just try to be as normal as possible. That's my answer.
Now we know what to put in Jay's eulogy. He tried to talk to the pit bull like a
Try-
baby.
yes, like a puppy. All right, let's go to Bob. Bob, what would you do?
1, dogs love me. 2, I always have dog treats in my pocket. 3, Same as a zombie is chasing me. I trip Andre and I run.
Good
Worst
answer.
comes to
Good
worst.
Yeah.
4. Dog's legs aren't meant to be spread to the sides, only front and back. So
Mm,
get each paw and try to make the dog do the splits, or sacrifice an arm down the dog's throat and hope for the best.
Give up an arm. Oh, okay.
good answer.
Okay, we're going to Andre next.
I'd like the record to state that Bob was with me in his made up scenario. So he's obviously thinking of me and hanging out with me at all times. So I would probably, this has happened to me. I run and scream. Like I scream really loud and run. And then I hope that I can clear whatever fence is there. So in the past when this happened, when this did happen, I cleared the fence. I just launched myself and I hurt myself, but it was fine. So that's all I would do. I was gonna say that like I would push Bob, but he took that line, so I'd probably take the hit for Bob.
Wow, nice guy. And channeling your inner high jumper,
Exactly.
clearing
But that was
fences.
like many weights ago, so I don't know if I could clear it now. I think now it'd just be like, well, let's go. And I would just probably fight it because I'm like, I'm not gonna okay, let me rephrase my answer. If this was 20 years ago, I would jump the fence and run away. Now I'd be like, all right, let's go. And I'd probably wrestle the dog some way because I'm not gonna outrun it. I'm probably gonna tear an ACL trying to like jump the fence. So my only survival thing would be to wrestle him, pretend he's an alligator, because I feel like I could take an alligator.
That's right.
Yeah, and
Quick
then
question.
yeah.
Sorry. Are you done? My bad. Sorry,
Done
quick
now.
question.
Thanks, Shane.
Sorry. Bob's like, can you cut him off? I'm like, okay, cool.
I
was all
was
good.
gonna say I was gonna put my hands in Bob's pocket and take a treat out, but that just sounded wrong, so I stopped myself from saying it.
Well, your,
Oh,
your hand's always in Bob's pocket, Andre.
yeah,
So you should be able
it's
to find
true,
that treat.
man.
Yes.
It's not even the back pocket anymore. Um, Question for you guys before I give my
Yay!
answer.
What?
What?
Answering a question with a question?
Yeah, question. When's the last time you guys hopped the fence?
20 years ago.
yeah, about that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Is
You
that
don't
something
know?
you do often? Are you like, oh, I'm just
No,
gonna hop the
no, no.
fence
I was just wondering because I did that in the summer. So and it was when you get to the top and you like put your foot on, you jump over. It's usually like now with my knees, I'm like, oh crap, that's higher than I thought. It's not like when you're a kid, you could just hop in, you're good. Do. Not anymore.
No.
That's all.
yeah.
All right,
Wait.
Shane. Oh,
Okay, that was a question.
that was the question.
Oh, you want another question?
No.
Oh,
What's the answer now? Now that it hurts your knees to jump the fence?
Yeah. What would you do?
oh. So if you I would give the same, almost the same as Andre, his 20-year-old answer. If you asked me like 2 weeks ago, but I've been watching a lot of like dog training videos on Instagram. Shout out to the dog whisperer and the dog daddy. Anyway, so if I was to turn a corner, first I would remain calm and walk like I didn't even see it. And if it came after me, then yes, then I'll start running and hopping every fence, and I'd probably throw down whoever's in front of me just to like slow them down. Doesn't matter, small women or
What if
children.
it's an
Doesn't
old
matter who
lady
you
or
are.
a
Doesn't
kid?
matter.
Let
Doesn't
the record
matter.
state that he likes to take walks with Eva. So, sorry, Eva, you're gonna be thrown down. Just
I
push down.
don't matter. It don't matter.
Okay.
Every man for
Not even his wife.
himself.
All right,
Yep.
let's go.
Yep.
He has to think about the kids, right? someone has to stay alive to take care of the kids.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
They both
So
can't
yeah,
go down.
walking calm first. If not, I'm running and throwing everyone in its way.
I will be asking Bob every time I see him this week to see if he has treats with him. Because now I'm curious to know if he actually holds treat with him
He,
all the time.
he
It's
says he
funny.
always
Sometimes,
does.
sometimes I get to work and I'm like, "What is this? Oh my goodness, it's a dog cookie."
I'm thinking like sometimes I
Why
get to
do I
work and I'm hungry and I have a dog treat. So
I I always have poop bags on me, but I don't think
I
that's gonna
was gonna
help.
say I have poop bags as well, man. The same. Especially my winter coats. I have them everywhere.
Okay, that was awesome. Great game, guys. All right, let's talk about the reward and the immunity challenge. Let's start with the reward challenge. That was when they had to go do squirm on the sand, and then eventually get to do a whole bunch of stuff, untie knots and things, and then eventually throw hoops on the hooks there.
I feel like Shane would
What'd
be
you guys think?
amazing at that. He'd just do the worm through the whole thing.
Yeah, he was doing the worm. Shaheen was doing the worm, and then he stopped at some point. But maybe it took a lot of energy with your just being tied up like that. But that
I
got him.
was
That
just
got in my head first, pretty fast.
I would just be like worried about sand in the eyes.
Mm,
And then I would just be crying the whole time.
that would suck.
Yeah. But I don't know, it looks difficult, especially going uphill. Like how many times have you seen people get stuck going up that hill? Like I feel like I would be that guy.
Yeah, yeah, it looks tough.
you're tied. Your body's tied to that rope, right? So you can only go straight.
Yeah, you're not allowed to
No,
roll. I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to roll or go sideways.
you're
Or
not attached to. You're bringing the key that's attached to that rope with you, or the
Okay.
block, or whatever it is.
So
Yeah.
you're kind of attached to it. But was it Shohim or someone was kind of going like diagonally a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
a little bit. Yeah.
How do you think dentists feel about this challenge? Like that's not. It can't be good for your teeth holding that, getting stuck. Or like, what about that person who was in Survivor who had fake teeth? Like, could they do that challenge?
You can still bite onto that with fake
I'm
teeth.
sure they can hold it with their hand if they wanted to. They would just go a lot slower.
No, it had to be your
No, it has to be your teeth.
your teeth, yeah.
For real?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so, Bob.
Way to cheat, Bob.
Classic Bob using
Oh my
his
gosh,
hands.
Bob, always
Yeah,
cheating.
always his
Him and his
hands.
dog
Us.
treats.
Yeah. Yep,
Oh my
exactly.
goodness, Bob.
Classic.
And then Kyle won just a few seconds in front of Joe. That was pretty close finish. And then, if there's nothing else to talk about the challenge, he takes Eva, and then Camilla, and then Shoheen. I think in that order on the award. What do you guys think of his choices there?
I like
Horrible.
them. Why is it horrible?
I thought they were smart picks.
Yeah,
That,
I
I
think
didn't
so.
like them because I thought they were horrible, but they were very smart picks.
Sorry
Yeah.
he didn't pick you. Holy.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Always, eh?
But I didn't like it because I was like, oh, pick this person. I really wish he would have taken Mitch. But once he explained why he did it, I'm like, oh, that was genius.
You want to get Mitch upset there so that he
No,
follows
100%.
through with Camilla's plan. Yeah.
I thought they
Yeah.
were horrible to start, and then when he explained that, I was like, this guy's a genius, which goes towards a notch on his belt to be able to, win the whole thing against Joe.
I don't think he'll be able to plug that move in particular because it didn't really work. But in the end,
Plug anything, you just gotta learn how to
Right,
sell it.
because they were still plotting even with
Yep.
Joe
Yeah.
there,
He's a
right,
lawyer.
Bob? Is that what you're saying?
well, it didn't that move of making those picks had the goal of getting Joe out, or at least somebody from the Strong Alliance out.
Oh, he was helping out Camilla to maybe get Joe out. Interesting. I thought he was doing the babysitting thing.
No, that was. I
No.
think that was just Joe's take.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it could have been too, but it sounded like he was doing that to get the other people angry. So they would band together and talk about it and like, yeah, like we're so hungry and angry, let's vote out Joe.
with Joe right there. Okay. All right. Let's and then let's go to the immunity challenge. It was the one where they have to stack the tile spelling immunity on the platform while holding a rope and going very slowly. What are your thoughts on that one, Bob? Let's go to you.
Just go slow. Just go slow. Reminds me of Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy, where he's pulled so incredibly still, no one can see him.
It almost worked for Shaheen. And Jeff even said, yes, he is in fact moving I like that
Yeah,
when he said that.
yeah,
That was pretty good.
yeah, yeah. That's tough. Well, Kyle almost won just like going at the speed that he was going.
He was going fast, but he did look smooth. He looked really smooth when he was doing it, and it
I
almost worked.
I
Yeah,
do like that challenge. Feels like a very balanced one that anybody who's careful and coordinated could win.
Not Star.
for sure. It's not one of those just the strong guys are gonna win, but like anyone could have won this one, which is good.
Yes.
They finally had to put one of those in.
Which is why no one went for that rice. So decided to set up for the rice because at least for on the people on the bottom, they had it. They looked at the challenge and they felt they could have won it. Whereas
I
if
also I feel
whereas
like they should have still
Yeah.
given the opportunity to anybody, not just ask one person who speaks for the whole tribe.
oh well yeah well Mitch did, but I'm sure if someone had a different opinion, they could have said something different. But it looks like everyone was wanted to do the challenge.
But like the rice was for everyone, right?
Yeah, it is that too.
I don't know. I think it would have been different if there was something like for them, like
Yeah,
those like three people sit out and you can enjoy this while the competition's going on.
yeah, there's that, and like another podcast, like make it really something that's worth it, like $10,000 cash for every person who sits out, right? Or something that more enticing than just rice for the last 7 days that you have to share with the tribe. It has to be
Right.
better. The
And you
payoff
don't
has to be
even know if
better.
you're gonna be there for like the next day. It's like,
Exactly, right? Have some sort of instant reward. Here's a car. Okay, maybe not that much, but
We've been
wow,
watching too many
that's
Mr. Beast challenges.
Jesus. Yeah, no kidding.
but it has to be worth it, and none of the people there thought it was worth it, so they're gonna have to switch it up for next season.
Wait,
I think
do you think it's more the reward or more the challenge?
Both.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, same.
I think they're feeding him too much.
Oh yeah, that's
Like you're not hungry. The only really hungry one was Mitch, and he's like, "No, I need to win this because like maybe him winning it could have put he could have been in charge. Obviously, I take it away from Joe, but I think it's just they've been fed too much.
yeah. Like half of them just went on a reward.
Yeah,
But didn't Mitch get fed the episode before?
yeah,
Yeah,
a
Didn't they?
couple, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they're all so nice to each other. They're just like, yeah, you haven't eaten, okay, let's go.
Yeah,
When in the
let's.
past, like, no, not my alliance. I'm gonna keep you like hungry. But now they're just like all friends. Yeah, you come with us. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and especially if they're trying to make connections with them, they'll take them.
It's yeah. I just think they've been fed too much, but it would be cool to entice them with something else. So, but I do like how you went with like the Mr. Beast mode right away. Like, get this much money right now. Get this or get this. Like
Yeah,
that could be enticing. Yeah.
if you know you're gonna get voted out. Yeah.
Even like
And
a letter from home or something.
oh
Like
yeah, exactly. Like
it's something
that.
simple like that.
That could
People would,
have made Joe sit out, like, or any
yeah,
like person who's really tight with their family.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. How about the if that challenge wasn't slow enough? What about the slow motion on Joe at the end?
Do you think that fly was CGI'd?
I was thinking that you didn't even react. I would have tried to swat it or something. Your face would
You
have
can't.
twitched or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You would have some sort of reaction, but yeah, he didn't react at all.
Yeah, a lot of control there. But really, did they really need to do that? Like,
It was a little over the top. I do know it scared my wife. She was watching. She's like, "Ah, why would they do that?" I was like, "What?" So, but I think it was pretty cool. I liked it.
Do you think he smells the worst? That's why there's flies all over him.
maybe could be. I want to go back to the reward challenge. What about that the fried chicken and waffles song that they did at the start? Did you guys like that? They're
I did.
savory and sweet.
I
That's what
did.
we want to eat.
Yeah. I like how Shohin added that little verse in there as well.
It spiced it up. Yeah, gave it a little bit more content there.
Yep.
It's a very musical episode.
Jeff's really getting loose in his later seasons here, right?
He is talking about dancing at Club Condo and like getting the songs going. Say it with me now. Fried chicken and waffles. Fried chicken and waffles.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I have a question for you though, about the game in general. My daughter wanted me to ask you guys, mostly you, Jay, because you're what's it called, a survivor savant. She wants to know if do they get like a toothbrush to brush their teeth, or do they like? Have you heard in a podcast or anything in your research? How do they keep their teeth so clean? With the exception of Shohin last episode, there was like a weird spot where his teeth look super dirty. But the majority of the time, all their teeth look super nice, white and clean. So,
They do not. They do not
No?
get toothbrushes.
they
They
just
they brush their teeth with their fingers. Some of them have said they've done it with sand. Like I guess they wet their finger and they put sand on it and then they brush their teeth with it, or whatever else they can find.
okay.
There's one survivor, Elizabeth, from like one of the early ones. She was saying like everyone use like a piece of clothing and sleeve before
Yeah.
they did their confessionals. And then there's also people who carry around like some sort of like picks, right?
Yep.
They're constantly like picking their teeth with like branches or whatever.
I think Joe doesn't Joe do that? Doesn't he have something in his mouth?
Yeah, I
Can't
think
remember.
so. I think
Speaking
you're
about
right.
things in your mouth, Bob, how is oh, shit.
You can't do stuff like that when you don't have anything to say. You can't do stuff like that. Period.
I had to stop because I was talking
Stop.
too hard. Okay. Now I forgot what I was gonna say.
You weren't gonna say anything.
I
know
was.
it. You weren't.
Okay. Who would be in the hammock snoring like Mitch? I think it would be me. I'd be snoring like
Oh,
that.
Bob,
I can
go
vouch
ahead.
for
Go
I
ahead,
can
Bob.
vouch for
Go
both
ahead.
of you
Go
guys,
ahead, Bob.
Jay and
I'm
Andre.
just serving this up on a platter for Bob to knock it out.
Yeah, no, you guys would have your own beach to sleep at.
I have a question though. Are you allowed to bring your mouth guard?
No, they probably would not.
Then
Let
it's
me bring
Jay.
my mouth guard. Yeah. Then it's
What?
me.
Why? Who has a mouth guard?
I use a mouth guard. It helps.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
For snoring.
Yeah.
Oh,
It helps.
weird.
Does it help, Bob?
Bob
I don't know
Bob
the
has said
answer
it
to this.
helped.
Yeah. He'd be the only one he's a witness, so
He said it helped, and that he also said that you needed like 8 of them.
he did say that, yes.
Wow. Wow. Okay, wait, going back to the game, did you guys actually think that they're gonna pull off a blindside this episode the way they're editing everything?
Not a
Meaning,
chance. No.
not a chance. Even when both Joe and Eva, or I think it was Joe, he was saying how comfortable he felt. He's like, I'm a good spot.
Okay.
And usually
at
when
the
people
point,
say that, it's
at
like
that point when we heard him say that, then yes.
That was
But
at the start, right?
it was
Yeah.
Near the
early.
beginning?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. He was. I even have that written down. He was way too confident. The writing,
yeah.
I said the writing was on the wall when he said that. We're
Yeah.
in a great spot.
That's usually what happens. And then he won, and you're like, oh, okay, here it is.
And then honestly, as they kept showing more and more of Star, I had a feeling that she was going home. Because like, why would they? The show tends to do this. They to give people kind of the spotlight before they go. They'll just show
For
more
sure.
of them.
Yep.
So that was kind of a spoiler, kind of a giveaway.
Well, especially if she had her own little rap session there.
Yep, exactly. Like if it
Like-
wasn't her turn to go home, would they have shown that one of those raps? I'm not. Maybe not. Maybe not. I just didn't feel it was good enough of a rap to to do that.
I wanted to say like we all play sports. We're all I would say we're all like athletic, so we know what it entails to be like an athlete. Star played professional basketball, according to her like the beginning in her what they were saying about her.
Professional? Did she just play professional? I
I
knew she
thought it
played
said
basketball, but
I thought it said professional basketball. So
I
I'm
thought
just
it was
wondering,
college
like her
itself. But still.
skill, athletic skill, is nowhere near where I thought an athlete like would be at. Right, like even like with my bad knees and everything right now, I feel like I could at least do pretty well in that challenge with the immunity. I think the hardest part would be writing immunity backwards, but besides that, I'm like, she did. I was like, what is wrong with you? Aren't you an athlete?
I
Maybe
think at the same time, though, this is a bad season for the Chrissies, or Christy or Chrissy,
Chrissy.
Chrissy,
Yeah.
Chrissy and Stars, and like those people who would normally just float to the end because they're targeting all like the strong athletic people. I think they're just on the wrong season.
Yeah.
I think Star came out thinking, oh, I don't have to win challenges. I can, I can kind of sit back and kind of, pick my poison type thing. But
Because
this
the strong
is,
people usually go out first, right?
yeah, yeah. So she wouldn't even be targeted. But since the strong people are all aligned and they're all winning, then it's it's a different season.
But she's been number one at being last the whole season, like for every single
No,
challenge.
Cedric.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Cedric. Yes, you're right.
Shout out to Ant, his boy Cedric.
Um, I wanted to say, remember how Joe won the immunity challenge, and then he said, "This is to all the fathers out there who ever had to sneak out and be very, very slow at sneaking out of the kids' bedrooms. Now we're all fathers. Did that really resonate with you guys? Because it sure did with me.
Yeah,
I've had to do that
when
many
my
times.
kids were
It,
younger, I would do
that's a
that.
skill. That's a skill.
Yeah, like super quietly. Yes, I
Especially if
agree.
you're on the bed with them, right? And they fall asleep. That's the hardest.
Yep. Yep.
Or if they're on your arm, right? You got your arm under their head and they fall asleep there.
Yep. And you have to lift their head, and then you have to move your arm, and then put their head back down
Yeah.
gently, and then
I
yeah.
hate when Bob falls asleep on my arm. I'm like, Bob,
Oh,
stop.
always, man.
Always, every time.
Always. Then you contemplating like biting your arm off, like
Uh, there's there's a move I learned in the movie where I can't remember what movie it is. To get out of that situation, you give the person a hug,
yeah.
and then they're so they sort of wake up, and that gives you enough, and then you can roll them away and get your arm out, and then but they're still sleeping enough that they don't mind. I learned that, and I employed that on the kids, and it actually worked. So the what's that? The hug and roll or something like that. That was the move.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that. And in the movie, didn't someone try that and like kind of fling their partner off because they
Oh,
they pulled
hey,
their
that was
arm?
Friends. It was Friends.
Was it
It
friends?
was Friends. Joey
Oh,
was telling Chandler about that move, and he
yeah,
tried it, and yes, it didn't, and it
that's
went
awesome.
all wrong for
Yeah.
Chandler. That's where it was. Good old Joey and his advice. He
It
always
was Ross, not Joey.
say, was it Ross?
Yes,
Actually,
yes.
Oh, now that yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Who said that? You,
Me.
no, that was Crystal behind
that
you.
was someone else. Come on, liar.
No.
We
What? You not?
your mic was open, man. We
Do I
heard.
not look like a Friends watcher?
No, you don't.
Well, all I gotta do is all I gotta say and do is this. And
Okay,
then
you are. You are. Okay, he's doing friends uh
I don't know what it means, but
motions.
let's
See,
go.
someone's doing it behind the camera.
He's teaching Andre on the fly how to do those things. Okay, shout out. Props to Andre for knowing friends.
I don't. That was my wife.
You.
Wait,
Any other
Ross.
notes? Any other
Ross
notes?
showed Chandler how to do it.
Ross showed Chandler. Okay, so it was Ross that was showing Chandler. Yes,
He
But I'm
said
sure.
yes.
I'm sure Joey was in those situations before. He must have been in it many times. Okay. Anything else?
Nope. Time to go.
Next. Okay, yeah. Next episode, the outsiders have to get someone to flip, or else they're done. They are done.
Done. Mary.
Done.
Mary. She's gonna do something crazy.
All right. Okay, let's sign off there. Great session, guys. So to all the listeners, if you come around a corner and there's a pit bull looking at you, wondering what podcast you're listening to, you say to it, STFU.
F-U!
And then you run and jump over a fence. Good night,
Under.
everyone. See you next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.